Hello, all of you wonderful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, currently as Nevis, King of Conquerors, and this is Conquest Dark. Oh, apparently it's a solo developer. So this game was gifted, or not gifted, but, you know, I guess it is kind of a gift, but either way, it was given to me by the developer to go take a look at it and play it on stream for you all. From what I have seen, it looks to be some manner of a bullet heaven, you know, similar to the likes of Vampire Survivors and the like. And as is usual, I do the first launch live on stream. Thankfully, this one launched really fast. Let's see here. It is now 237 years after the appearance of the Black Planet, and the rise of the undead armies that laid waste to the kingdoms of humanity, the fall of the cosmic gods, and the awakening of the long-slumbering primordial ones. Only Karathia, the city of legends, stands as the last bastion of hope for humanity. Champions, seekers of honor, devoted followers of cosmic and primordial deities, convicted criminals, and other lost souls now partake in dark rituals to awaken the once defeated undead monstrosities and fallen legendary heroes, seeking knowledge and power to uncover the secrets of the Black Planet and reclaim what once belonged to humanity. Well, okay then. It seems there's multiple different levels. Actually, quite a bit of map here. Gotta say, I dig this map. It's very well done.
Vaguely reminds me of, what was it? Spirit... Is it Spirit Infinite Horde?
I am unfamiliar with this.
It's another bullet heaven. Is it in this list for my stuff?
Have you seen the Deep Rock Galactic one?
So, I gotta say real quick, I appreciate what the developer did with the Twitter logo here. They used the bird with the X over the eye. Very nice. Very nice. Props for that. Well, first things first, check the settings. Why is there a show nudity option?
Huh.
Well, we are leaving that off.
Aww.
We're on stream. And apparently there is Zordolf mode. Whatever that means. We are not going to turn that on. World lore? Oh, that's just what I saw, alright. So I guess I just pick Gates of Karathia, or however you pronounce that. Humanity's final stronghold against the cursed undead hordes, where a haunting ritual outside the gates reanimates fallen soldiers, forever bound to their past conflicts within the city's enduring struggle. Defeat bosses, complete the ritual to unlock a whole lot of stuff. Holy crap.
Looks like loot and meta progression.
Yeah. Apparently we begin the ritual.
Also, I found the name of the other game. It is Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde. It also has a couple of maps. Oh, this is why there is the
Yeah,
toggle.
I see.
Oh,
I'm not sure if I like this, but we'll go with
I'm
Hunter.
gonna. I'm gonna assume you get equipment, so you aren't a starting character in an MMO.
I am hoping so. I guess Hunter's Apprentice? I don't know what any of these things mean, so... Health, life, and bleeding. Your character starts with 100 health and 10 lives. If you lose all your health, one of your lives is removed. Your health resets to 100 and you gain a bleed stack. Each bleed stack reduces your character's health by 1% of maximum health per second until your health reaches 1. While bleed stacks cannot be removed, you can strengthen your defenses to mitigate the effects of bleeding. Oh. Building your
right. So
character's
once you die
defense...
once, you're terminal?
Apparently. Building your character's defenses is just as important as increasing your damage. The best way to counter bleeding is to avoid losing lives altogether. Focus on improving your resistances, maximum health, dodge charges, and movement speed to minimize damage taken, and reduce the chances of getting hit. If you're already bleeding, you can mitigate the effects by stacking reduced bleed rate to slow the bleeding, or by boosting health regeneration, and chance to gain a healing soul to recover health. Okay, sure. Okay, so attacks are automatic. Supposedly.
Oh, you have no weapons.
Do you just walk up to things to attack them?
Apparently, yes.
Huh. I do not like.
And now what the frick?
Okay. Did it say how to swap targets? Because that seems like an issue.
I think you just attack what's in front of you.
Yes.
Well, he's targeting a particular enemy.
No, I am
that's sparkling.
targeting what's in front.
Well, you are facing a particular enemy.
I think he's facing his mouse.
Oh, okay, so I can click and drag to change.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the one enemy doesn't have a lock on anymore. I don't know why you were locked onto it. Okay.
So yeah. Most of my flesh is gone now. I am doing basically no damage. I believe I have lost half of my lives already.
It looks like it.
And you've like got it to 2 times speed or something?
I have no idea what that...
What happens
thing
if you
is.
click those arrows?
Nothing.
No, those are dodge charges. I don't know how
Right.
you dodge.
Okay, I
but-
space. How am I supposed to actually do anything here?
That is a lovely question. Starting a character with nothing seems highly
This is-
counterintuitive.
Probably one of those you have to keep dying enough to get stuff to actually fight. I don't know.
Well, except for one fist, I am now... okay, now I am just a skeleton. Um,
I am
also,
one of you.
if you guys
Don't
could
hurt
help
me.
me by checking, by reading of stuff from chat for me, I would appreciate that.
You appear to be bleeding all over the place. At least give them a stick. Reject
Yeah.
flesh, become skeleton.
Yeah. Well, at least this is the first attempt, and I'm also going to assume that this is still a work in progress at the moment.
I have no idea.
Oh. Maybe you can bleed on things?
What are you going
I
to
don't
do?
know.
Bleed on me?
Got a better idea?
Oh, well, it looks like bleed won't kill you. You have to take a hit.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
It did say that it will bleed, that I will bleed until I have 1 HP left.
Okay, so there's still hope. Maybe.
Just the ever-growing horde of zombies, and, like, no way to kill a single one.
Yeah. There's a timer up here, which has now
paused
stopped.
at 5 minutes.
Oh, it's paused because there's a boss.
I was so when I saw the timer, I was thinking, okay, I guess I just survive that long? Is that the goal?
So, based on the tier 1 under the timer, I'm assuming when the timer runs out, the tier increases. Unless that is actually the mission for this map node and you just have to survive.
I hate to say it, but part of me wants to say, why don't you just try dying and see what happens?
Well, I mean, I just did.
'Cause, you know, it's not
Candy,
uncommon for roguelike to expect you to die right away.
So, Candy, this game was given to me by the developer to test out, or, you know, not test, but showcase, you know?
Okay.
Okay. Is there a upgrade menu or something?
We have no materials.
So I guess we go in again.
Yeah, looks like the only thing to do is just...
Try again.
I'm...
Oh, they're long-limbed. They have better attack reach. They can punch farther.
Sure, we'll take this one. And sure, better armor?
Bonus
Okay,
health.
so I guess that's what I was supposed to do. The first time I was supposed to go kill that first skeleton, and then... I'm sorry, developer. That is bad design. Very bad design. You
So,
gotta
I
give
guess
more
we still-
tutorial there.
Yeah, there needs to be way more onboarding for the first level, or like a tutorial level, to help people understand. Because right now we're being dropped in, and it's like, well, what the heck are we doing? And there was the one enemy. It did automatically lock you onto that enemy last time, I noticed.
Yeah.
But
but-
there wasn't really any way for you to understand the purpose.
But now I barely
think
have
the
a weapon.
fiery short bow. And now you shoot. Yep, there we go.
Alright, so now we're actually
And there's little
getting
green
somewhere.
Orbs. I think you have to collect those little green orbs. Yeah, because you got your experience bar at the top, like Vampire Survivors.
Alright. So now I actually stand a chance. Wow, that first one was... oof. Ooh, I like that ricochet shot, though.
I'm imagining that there's going to be a lot to it. I assume it's just an oversight on the early game, but, you know, early production of the game. I mean, visually it looks nice.
It does.
I think the experience being a little bit more noticeable would be nice, though.
I would agree on that one.
It's very pretty looking, but maybe make it bigger. Okay, so you got 2 of the same role?
No, they have different, they're the same name, but they are different stats.
Okay.
Two of the same, and one of them different. Personally, I'd go for the movement speed.
I go for movement or power artillery. Usually on these games, movement speed is king.
Sure, we'll go with this. So yeah, now that I actually have a idea of what's going on, this isn't too bad. But locking that first weapon behind punching a skeleton, come on.
Yeah, that is a little ridiculous.
I mean, I get it. It's just probably I would have done it if, especially for your first playthrough, of like having a little pause and saying something along the lines of "Be sure to grab your weapon," and like then showing like a little maybe clip of punching the dude. I don't know.
Something
because-
more than what I got.
But I get that it was probably not designed for the idea of, you know, yes, like it's probably not it's probably every level probably starts that way, so it probably didn't want to have the tutorial pop up every time, but it's like at least for this first time, that would be nice.
Well,
Yeah.
from what I understand, it wouldn't be too hard to program in, like, the first time a player goes into a level, have that tutorial pop up. And since this is the only level, you could have it just pop up the first time the player triggers that level. And then...
Well,
Is
even
this the only level?
the only one that's
Or is it
available
just
right
the only
now.
level you've unlocked? Okay.
And another thing that personally I would say is good practice is if you have tutorials, have somewhere in the game that a player can go see those tutorials again. Not toggle to turn the tutorials back on, a place where you can see them again.
It is also worth noting that, you know, a good 90% of roguelikes do not have any form of tutorial. They do. It is a tendency for them just to throw you straight into it and just expect you to work it out.
That works better for roguelikes that don't hinge on you obtaining initial equipment to be effective.
Yeah, if I had simply known from the get-go that I needed to grab... I needed to kill that one specific skeleton to even do anything, period, that would have been fine. But that's the problem that I ran into.
The reality is when you start the mission, you should get your weapon. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you're going out
Yes.
into a combat ritual, you should start with a weapon.
Maybe there are meta progression upgrades that fix this, but personally, I feel like it would be a lot better if whatever starting character you had, bare minimum, started with a weapon.
Oh, and I think the things on the side are things you can choose to use. Oh no, that's just the level of what you've got of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to give the developer credit where credit's due. I mean, but at the same time, you know, yeah, it would be nice to have that at the start.
Yeah. It does look like they have a thoroughly thought out system for skills, abilities, and stats.
Yeah, it's fairly bog standard, you know, you've seen these kinds of abilities in hundreds of other games, but that's not necessarily a bad thing either.
Well, people like those kind of things with bows and stuff pretty commonly. I assume that there is more than just bows.
Yes.
I
there
saw
are multiple-
Hunter and Barbarian class at least.
I thought you picked a barbarian.
No, I picked Hunter.
It does look like there are multiple equipment proficiencies. So it looks like they are probably working off of the quote-unquote standard proficiencies, light, medium, heavy armor, like one-handed, two-handed, bows, whatever, for weapon proficiencies.
I wonder what those 3 buttons down the bottom mean.
I wonder the same thing.
Can they be clicked
As
on?
well as this arrow.
Oh, those, I think, are your abilities.
Abilities? But I don't think you trigger them?
I do not believe you trigger them. I think
No,
the
they
ones
just
on the
happen
right are...
automatic.
Yeah. That just shows you that plus the level of your ability. On the right are your passives. Oh, Ipikurai.
It looks like it's trying to do a grittier take on the Vampire Survivors genre.
I do not like being bound to this circle.
Have you seen the Deep Rock Galactic one?
I have not. Well, I know it was coming, but as far as I was aware, it wasn't released or anything.
I'm pretty sure it's been out for a while. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Yeah, it's out.
Well, there's also...
It came out February last year.
Oh.
If you know Temtem, they also have one, which is
Yeah.
Temtem Swarm.
Yeah, I've done that one.
It is worth noting Deep Rock Galactic Survivors is still in early access.
Oh yeah, every game is nowadays.
Permanent early access.
Well, usually once early access ends, that means they've ended support for the game these days.
Yeah.
There's a couple that don't do that. Like, for example, Power Wash Simulator is actually still actively getting updates, even though they've done a full release. So, that's nice.
Yeah, I need to return to that at some point. That was such a fun game to play.
Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
sad.
It reminds me of that feeling of like when you were playing Super Mario Sunshine and like even though you didn't need to, you decided to stop and clean up all the goop.
I thought that was the entire
Or is that
point of
just
the
me?
game. I never
Well-
played it myself, but
Oh, so you only have to, the goop just hurts you, but it's like you just have to go and collect the shine sprites, and usually you have to just clean up enough to get through to not die while getting the shine sprites, but you can clean up the entire map. Just cause. I used to love intentionally letting it get as dirty as possible so I could spend hours just cleaning each map.
There's a couple of small games that have come out recently that can kind of hit similar to Power Wash Sim, but not. There's the
Cache Cleaner Simulator does a pretty good job.
there's the game about digging a hole and a lumberjacking game.
could you be a bit more specific with there? There's a lot of games about digging a hole.
Well, I think the game he's referring to is called Dig a Hole.
I know.
Yes.
That was the joke I was making.
Okay. So I think Rex is dying of laughter in the next room.
No, that's Holo.
Oh.
I was about to say, that's not a Rex laugh, that's a Holo laugh.
What else was there? So I thought that Cache Cleaner Simulator did a pretty good job at capturing that kind of vibe.
So,
What else?
okay.
was it?
Am I the bad guy here, or... I, like, the boss spawned, and he's like, "This city stands undefeatable."
He's they're undead. So that is the undead of Lord Commander What's-His-Face.
I suppose so.
I mean, it's entirely possible. I mean, look at games like Conan. You're kind of technically the bad guys. Like the whole point of you being in exile is that you're kind of a villain.
Old
So it is
school Moscow.
possible. I mean, Path of Exiles is the same. Like, you're in exile. Oh,
Well, I have finally completed my quest for better pants. By
which you
having
mean any
pants,
at all.
period.
you're no longer flapping about in the breeze.
Ooh, there's one that gives movement speed. Oh, this game is exceedingly kind. The chains don't damage you.
I was kind of
Okay.
expecting them to.
Like, you just have to not get hit by the balls. But I like to.
Also, I have this dodge thing, so that's what the white one is.
Oh, the white one is like lives, like it insta dodges.
Yeah. So if something
Yeah,
would
manual
hit
dodging
me,
and insta dodging.
yeah.
That is actually very generous.
It is. But I am very confused on if I am attacking this city or saving it or defending it, or what is going on? It's like, if I am defending it, why the hell did they send me out of the gates without even a single weapon?
I think it's supposed to be a ritual for you to, like, generate magic runes or something.
Well, I'm sure the text for the level gave us context. It's just that we've forgotten in the, fight.
Oh, this is supposed to be like the last bastion standing when the Dark Planet appeared. So my guess is that it's some sort of unholy cosmic ritual to generate stuff that'll help you fight the evil, maybe? Is this captain nearly dead?
I will also
So-
give credit to the developer for knowing that their bosses are bullet sponges and stopping the timer.
Yeah. They also have a bunch of lives just like us. However, they don't seem to have the bleed mechanic.
Which kind of isn't fair.
Well, they're undead. How are they going to bleed out?
Well, apparently we are. I mean, did you see me on that first attempt? I was just a walking skeleton at that point.
He raises a good point.
You're just a newly hatched bony boy. It's fine.
Oh, crack, crack knuckles.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Oh, that's my life these days.
You're old.
Every time I move, snap, crackle, and pop.
When you're a kid, it's a breakfast cereal slogan.
When you're an adult, it's a reminder of your reality.
When you're an adult, it's a reminder of entropy and of decay and eventual death.
Oh, are those gray arrows are your auto dodges?
Yes,
Yes.
that's what I was saying. Anytime I would get hit by an attack, I just dodge it with those.
So much experience flying around in the middle of the room.
I know. I had to take some damage and risk to get in there to get it.
So, I know this is a common way to do things in roguelikes, but I do take umbrage with it. Because I feel like it forces the player to put themselves in a bad position so that they can advance.
The manually picking up XP.
Yes, I feel like
Uh-huh.
I don't
I've-
necessarily have a problem with it. My only real issue is that I wish the experience was a little bit easier to see.
I agree with you. Ooh, motorcycle. My main thing is I feel the pickup radius should be bigger, or the experience orb should eventually fly to the character after a timer if they haven't been picked up.
Or introduce an item like a tracked orb, which allows you to slowly increase your pickup radius.
So, in this game in particular, I would say no.
Suki, you
Mer?
realize Era has done this mechanic to us, right?
Which mechanic?
The seals drop on us, though.
No, they drop from the enemy.
we each get them out. They don't drop from the enemy. We obtain them. Also, we
No.
aren't playing a roguelike.
You sure?
Yes.
This is a roguelike, isn't it?
I mean, every time that somebody dies outside of Twilight, they get yoinked back and they get to try again.
Oh wait, this is something else visible.
I'm talking about Recallers, one of our tabletops.
Ah.
You frustrate
Era
me.
put us in a roguelite.
You frustrate me, Zim.
Why? I'm not the one that did it.
You are the one who has called it to my attention, and I am displeased.
I mean, isn't pretty much every TTRPG in its essence a roguelite?
No.
Well, what happens when you die?
Typically, you make a
Either-
new character unless you get resurrected, but
So how's that different from a roguelite? A multiplayer roguelite.
okay, now really? Really?
Sorry.
No. The timer is up. The ritual's complete.
Oh, okay.
That's the deaths.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I thought he was yelling at me for drawing that comparison.
no. You have unlocked the Stygian Archive. Open it by clicking the location on the world map and then the Browse the Archive button. In the archive, you can view all your unlocked content and upgrade weapon sets and abilities with soul coins. Okay.
There's also the altar of power. Well,
Ah, there are apparently other races.
ah. Hooray, you can be something that's not human.
I
There are
does other
also-
races mean not human?
There are also 3 other classes. Yeah, roguelike, the same character comes back in general.
I feel that's more of a simple symptom of some roguelikes. I don't think that's true in a lot of them. There's a lot of roguelikes that it's just someone else. I mean,
You're right.
the implication could be that they look the same because they might be wearing the same uniform or something, but like very rarely do I see ones where it is the same. The only exception I can really think of is like maybe Hades.
But it's also... there is also the other side of the coin where the other mechanics that go with roguelikes.
The fact that there's a constant form of progression that happens from dying, I guess. But then you have ones like Noita. Does Noita count as a roguelike?
I don't know enough about Noita to say.
Because Noita very much is like a Metroidvania roguelike, but when you die, the only thing that carries from run to run is your knowledge.
I don't know. So I am seeing a lot more levels popping up now.
Yeah, so it's probably you just had to do the first one to unlock more of the map. So I imagine all those question marks become levels or locations of interest.
Unfortunately, I have to go actually make dinner now because my water is ready.
Ah, gotta go watch
Okay, day.
gotta go watch the pot.
Yes, I
Gotta
have to
go
go watch the
stroke the pot. Make the pot feel happy and satisfied till it gets all hot and bothered and blows its top. Like a good pot. Good night, Ran.
Yeah, apparently Stream Elements is down, guys. I guess I'll just go with this one. I was hoping for one of the other races, but... oh well. Punch the skeleton! Get your first weapon. I'll go with this bow this time.
Feels so odd that you would have just finished fighting at the front of the gates and now you have to go and start all over again.
Oh, well, the other
Did
one
you
I got killed, remember?
Oh, right, because at the end of it, the skeleton will come and kill you, right?
Yeah, the ghosts.
Because it's vampire survivors. You always die at the end.
I'm just really confused why we're doing any of this.
I feel it's kind of like Vampire Survivors. You're not supposed to think too much about it.
But that at least has a bit more lore to it.
Yeah. I don't feel like it did when we first started playing, though.
True.
Its lore built very slowly over lots of DLCs and free updates. Also, if this is a new enough game, it's possible that the lore isn't really that thoroughly thought through yet. Purple guy. He seems bad.
He was bad. Probably. Now he's dead.
There, now he's dead.
I think he got a dodge chance.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. 50. There they are, standing in a row.
Alacrity. I want faster attack speed. Faster ability to head pat the Kuroi. Pat, 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 pat.
Oh no.
Hey now, this is a bullet heaven. You dodge my bullets, not the other way around.
I can't launch Final Fantasy 14.
Why?
I can't launch Final Fantasy 14.
Why?
I don't know.
He probably doesn't know either.
There's a new update that came out today for the new relic weapons, and I wanted to see if I could do it solo, and now it won't launch. Probably because the servers are still being updated, maybe. That's the answer that doesn't make me sad. To be honest, that's probably it. I'll try again tomorrow. Sad.
Oh, so there were... okay. Yeah, they really need to make those experience orbs more obvious. Because I didn't even realize that I had some in the middle there. Not until they started moving to me after I got in there.
It should also be nice if they did the Vampire Survivors thing of if you have enough on the field, they start to conglomerate. Like how in Vampire Survivors, if you move enough.
Jimmond _ has turned Koroi into a weasel. They can only talk like that Pokemon for 2 minutes.
Weasel. Weasel, weasel.
Ow.
Weasel. Weasel. Weasel, weasel, weasel.
Jimmond _ is sending love to everyone.
Weasel.
Doo-doo.
Jimin _ is petting Chloe.
Weasel.
A permanent
Weasel.
unlock / upgrade, okay.
chaos! Kinda.
Ryan Thewolf has turned Ra _ Zim into a Rockruff. They can only talk like that Pokemon for 2 minutes.
Weasel. Pets the puppy.
Rockruff.
Gives puppy ear scratches. The really rapid kind, where you grab the ears and you run your claws underneath it until the dog's leg starts kicking.
Rockruff?
Happy Rockruff. Give belly scratches to Rockruff. No? No belly scratches?
Rockruff.
To be honest, Brian, and I'm just saying this full disclosure, not to discourage you, just because it's very worth noting. The story is absolutely amazing, but level 1 to 50 storyline, which is just the base game, is a bit of a slog. They have made it a lot better, but it's mostly a lot of world building, not a lot really fast paced or epic happens. It's mostly just getting to know all the cast, so it does feel a bit slow. Also worth noting, if you're not going to skip the story, you're looking at about 100 hours of gameplay before you get to endgame, which, you know, not knocking at all. I think the story is absolutely brilliant, but you are looking at least 100 hours worth of gameplay. Minimum.
Rockruff. Yeah, that was kind of, It's like, I have heard so many times that Final Fantasy XIV has a wonderful story after you get past the base game. However, that's 100 hours you're going to have to dedicate to playing the game to get to that point.
My advice with the first 50 levels is, unless you're really concerned about deep diving into the lore, you only really need to pay attention to the voiced cutscenes, and you'll get the general gist of the story and what's going on. And instead, focus more on appreciating the game's mechanics, because when the base game was out, it was because it was just being remade from Final Fantasy XIV, which was an absolute train wreck. Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, basically they re-released the game and then spent the entirety of all of their efforts on actually polishing up the game's mechanics and combat system. And it's why by today, like, you come to the mechanics end game now and they're absolutely phenomenal. It's because they took their time and really developed the gameplay during ARR. But that does mean that the story, of course, is a bit... It's not irrelevant, it's just not very eventful. They focused on making a more tamer story that's just more setting the world for everything to come, instead of like a fast-paced, action-packed story. So I'd say while you're on the first 50 levels, just focus on getting the feel of the classes, try to find a power fantasy you enjoy, and just focus on actually getting yourself invested in the community and just experiencing the mechanic and combat system of the game, because the story is a bit lackluster. Just pay attention to the voiced cutscenes and you'll get the gist.
Choose an ability to imbue? What the heck does this even mean?
Because if you like the kind of combat system that was first kind of introduced in like World of Warcraft with MMO combat, Final Fantasy kinda took what WoW did with their combat and changed it from a reactive combat system to a methodical dance, which, you know, you'll either love or you'll hate. And for me, I absolutely love it because, like, yes, your rotations are like, by the end game, your rotations are like, you know, 2-minute long identical planned things, but you're eased into all your skills so slowly that by the time you get there, you've gone from, you know, pushing just buttons as they light up to just doing full-on finger acrobatics without even realizing it, because your muscle memory is built up so much and you kind of just feel like a god, which is quite nice. It's very good on the power fantasy. Sorry, I'll stop. I don't get to gush over FF very much these days.
You're fine.
And I miss playing it so much. Frick, why do I have to keep stupid hours for where I live? I miss my raid groups. I will also say, while I can't necessarily recommend any class being better or... I got a way to put it. Yes, there is meta in Final Fantasy XIV. Yes, some jobs will perform better than others, but honestly, skill way trumps a class's performance rate. And every class is viable. While some will perform better than others, every class does bring the minimum requirements for their role. It's just some classes have less room for error than others because they don't quite perform as well. But it's like, you're better off picking a class that you like over a class that's air quotes meta, because you will do better on a class you like.
That is really nice. I know World of Warcraft always struggled to get balancing right for raids.
So the only balance that matters in a raid as far as meta goes is your overall party comp. So every class falls into a category, and I don't just mean healer, tank, and DPS. You have melee DPS, range DPS, range physical DPS, range magical DPS, healer, and tank. In a raid scenario, the only thing that matters is that you have one of each of the kind of DPS. So tanks and healers are kind of broken up into two sides. You have magical tanks and physical tanks, and you have barrier healers and pure healers. As long as you have one of each type of the tanks and healers and you don't double up on classes, it doesn't matter what tank healers you take and what tanks you take. And as long as you have at least one of the three of the DPS, it doesn't matter. And one of the DPS you double up on. So you either have typically you have 2 melees, but you can have, like, instead of 2 melees, you can have 2 ranged physicals, or you can have 2 casters. But that's really the only comp that matters. Is that you basically have variety in your party, as much variety as you can, which I really like, because it encourages people to feel that, like, oh, you pay a DPS, well, it's not that there's a bajillion of you, what type of DPS you play? Because if you play caster, there's actually not that many of you. If you play ranged physical, there's actually not that many of you. So you're actually in high demand, even though you're a DPS. And if you pay melee, sure, there's a lot of you, but people tend to want 2 of you on their raid group, so it makes everyone feel in demand and everyone feel very important. Which is nice.
Alright, so now I just gotta survive another minute and a half-ish, and we win. Away! Or, I guess I win?
So, final plug. My absolutely favorite thing about FF14 is everything. Absolutely everything you can do on one character. Ah, oh, that makes me so happy. You can be a black mage one moment and then like a berserker warrior the next. Sorry.
Yeah. 4?
Going on about it.
It's okay.
I will say the negatives just I think Guild Wars has a slightly better I think Guild Wars has a better cosmetic system than Final Fantasy's cosmetic system. I think the cosmetics in Final Fantasy are absolutely gorgeous. But you actually have to keep the item around. Like, you can turn it into a glamour state and put it in a chest, but there's a limited number of slots. There's a lot of slots, but there is a limit. So you only really want to store stuff you like.
For Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
Ah.
So I think Guild Wars 2 has a better glamour system, but Final Fantasy very much allows you to make incredibly beautiful characters. It's kind of like one of their big selling points is you can look fantastic, but their method of actually storing cosmetics is limited, which is a little annoying. But at the same time, for every good piece of gear, there's a piece of gear that looks like shite. So you just collect the pieces of gear you actually like, and
All right.
everything else you.
So, Conquest Dark here. That beginning, awful. Just, that was not a good beginning. You either need to start us with a weapon, or make it, or outright tell us, go kill that skeleton. Other than that, like, what are you clicking?
Oh, sorry.
Other than that, like, this game just hasn't gripped my interest. Like, Vampire Survivors, I enjoyed it a lot, but it had a combination of a killer soundtrack and varied enemies that you were fighting, as well as a map that you could actually go about and explore, even if it wasn't that much to see. This one, you are bound to a circle. That's it. And you
Your
are...
skills aren't as earwormy.
What was that?
Your skills also aren't as bright and earwormy, and there was that hypnotic pulsing factor of Vampire Survivors that really catches you in that kind of tranced out, zombified state. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's just... It feels lifeless as a game. Which is funny because it's all about, undead armies taking over, but, there's nothing to it. Or at least, not that I've seen so far. And granted, I've only given this an hour. But that's also an hour of my time that, well, when... Developer, if you listen to this... That's an hour that most people, I feel, would only give this before going to Steam to ask for a refund. If they give your game a chance in the first place. I would have to give this one a pass. It's just not that intriguing. There's no real unlocks. Because that was another thing that Vampire Survivors had, was you were unlocking all the different characters, and each one felt different. This one, it's like, okay, just randomly selected character? I hope that you continue developing it, and developer, if you want to reach out and let me know when you've got another update for it that you want me to try, I will be more than happy to give it another go. But for now, I'm probably going to uninstall after this. But that all said, thank you everybody for joining us so far on the stream today. That was Conquest Dark. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They are on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around. As well as grabbing some merch over at zgfgaming.store. using our Humble Bundle partner link, or subscribing to us on Streamloots as well as YouTube. But for now, thank you all so much for joining, and I bid you the most fondest adieu.
Bye.